Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more For the King. In the last video, I progressed the main quest by going to Woodsmoke and getting a new objective, which is indicated by this blue arrow. So if we follow that arrow, we'll see that it leads me to this cult device. So we have to go down there and do something with that objective. Now, I did point out in the last video that we have a deadline to do that. And if we fail to get to this deadline before we complete the quest, we get chaos, which is bad. But the deadline did not change when we progress this quest. We have a set number of things we have to do before this quest is fully complete, and we have to do all of those things before the deadline hits. We do not get this deadline shifting at all during this whole period, so we have to do all of these things. Another thing that we picked up is we picked up a side quest, which is indicated by this orange arrow up here. So we have to take a locked box over to this town. And currently, or just before I started this video, Robin Hood had the box, so I passed it over to Friar Tuck. And I did this just by opening up the inventory, click on the locked box, and select and give to, which you can do regardless of whose turn it is, and it does not cost me any movement points to do that, as we started Friar Tuck having 5 movement points. I didn't lose any to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and start our turn. And I think what we're going to probably do with the lockbox is pass it from hand to hand so that we can get it over to the town as quickly as possible. I do want to go over to this place, though, because it is glowing yellow, and I'm curious of why it's doing that. So let's go ahead and... Oh, abandoned village. Test yourself. So it's some kind of test. Let's figure out what it is. All right, so fortunately for us, this is something that the Scholar is good at. Also, the Scholar starts with more focus points than anyone else in the party. So we can actually burn a fair amount of focus here if we want to succeed. So let's try and do that. All right, I'm happy with just 1 focus point, although if I continue to put focus points into this, it would make my chance of success even higher. I do have to re-put that in. Let's attempt. All right, we managed to gain an item, so that was good. We get another tinder pouch, which is good. That's another camp we can set up. We also get a rusty blade. Now, this looks like it would be best for our blacksmith, so I am going to select that. I only have that selection over Tuck because he was the one that did it. Okay. So let's just take a look in his inventory really quickly. So we have 2 rusty blades. Interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and, now that we have that item, I would like to start moving. We're going to move over this way. And then I'm going to open my inventory to demonstrate that I can pass items even though I'm only adjacent. So let's go ahead and give Little John one of these rusty blades. Okay, so we've done that. It's passed her from our inventory to hers. Then I'm going to also pass the lockbox, because she has a buff to her movement because of the sanctum that she is now devoted to. And we can see that it's actually changed to her color, although you might not be able to make it out because her icon's covering it up. All right, so I'm just going to continue to move. As a matter of fact, I want to move to the quest objective, which is down there. Problem is, direct route is kind of blocked at the moment, so I think I'm just going to move here. Probably fight the... Oh. I may have screwed up my move there, but that's okay. We'll just draw the combat. And as I discussed before, normally speaking, the combat radius that you're going to fight in is only this red area. But because Robin Hood is a ranged character, he's in yellow, which means that he can get involved even though he's normally outside, as long as he's only outside by 1. It looks like I am going to have to fight here. Oh, actually, retreat might be automatic. Let's see. Yeah, it is automatic. All right, so I might have blown one of my movement points on accident because I was a little too hasty. All right, so we got 6 movement points because we have an extra set of additional automatic movement points, and we just have still the 3 that we roll for. So for a total, even though we failed 2, we get 6 movement points, which is pretty good. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at our inventory, though, and we can compare the 2 weapons we have. So the blacksmith's hammer does 10 damage versus the rusty blade's 12. So that's pretty good. the Rusty Blade's attack value, but we do lose the Shockwave ability. From my experience, though, the Shockwave ability is pretty hard to pull off, and we also see that I only need to pass 2 tests to get a success with this. So this is a much easier test to succeed at. So I'm gonna go ahead and equip this item, and we can use it with the shield, so we're good with that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and move. And I did pass the locked box. Yes, okay, good. So it was 6 movement points. The main reason I didn't want to fight the bandit, just to explain, is I didn't want to draw this many enemies in, and I wouldn't have been able to ambush with the scholars. So that's why I avoided that combat. So I'm going to try and move around. Okay, we have something that popped up. Okay. The mysteries of Faerul are seemingly endless. You have stumbled upon catacombs. Okay, so this counts as a dungeon. Dungeons are very challenging, and we can see how challenging it is by the number. So it's a challenge level of 4. Now, I don't really know how to compare that to your party. That's something that I'm going to have to learn. But I think that's probably a little bit too dangerous for us. And you'll see how a dungeon works later, because I know for a fact that the last step of our quest is going to be going into a dungeon. So I fortunately got the nice day bonus. So I am going to keep moving here. Now, another thing we have view of now is we now have view of a camp. Now, camps are a little bit different. They do not draw enemies in the surrounding area, but usually speaking, there are more enemies here than you can actually see. So you don't really know what you're going to get until you combat it. But the real difference is the fact that it also does not draw other enemies. Now, it will draw your heroes if they're within radius, but not other enemies. All right, so we didn't roll particularly well there on our movement. We only get 4. So I'll just move here. Now, I do want to occasionally do combats. Oh, good. We got another nice day. Because it does allow us to level up and get items. But for right now, we're in an area where I don't really want to do too many combats. Another bad roll. So I'm going to try and avoid it. I do have to be careful, though, how I'm plotting my movement so I don't accidentally do what I did with that bandit. Okay. We got our party a little bit closer together. Okay, so we get a lot of movement points here. We're going to easily be able to complete our this part of the quest. We get Faded Pearls. So, +2 resistance, +1 magic damage, +1 max focus. So, I am not going to equip this. Instead, I'm just going to collect it. Alright, so we have a new town, and we have a new quest board, as well as the services in town market. I do have 18 gold, so let's go ahead and take a look at the market. So we have consumable items that do various things. Bunch some health. Some focus. Okay. But I'm more interested, I think, in weapons. So, or equipment in general. So this would be a nice item for Robin Hood. Now, I could buy it for him, just not equip it. Now, this boar spear, you might think, oh, well, that's an item that the blacksmith might want to use. But, again, look at the skill, the stat that's tested. That's not a stat that the blacksmith is good at. The stat that the blacksmith is good at is strength. Which, again, if you compare the Rusty Blade, it doesn't show it, but... yeah, actually, no, it does. It shows it right here. So this is the skill that we would be testing. This is what the blacksmith is good at. This is something the blacksmith would be bad at. So this would be a bad item to use with that character. Let's take a look at what the short bow does just quickly here. So it does 8 damage, which I think is more than what Robin Hood does. Allows him to do snipe shot, which he already can do. It also has a new ability, pinned down. Then it gives him +4 evasion and +25% damage against flying, which I think are things that we also get with the bow he currently has. And then he also gets the support combat range, which we saw earlier, which is that extra range that you get. We have a feathered hat, which gives us some stat bonuses. Old leather helmet, which gives us more stat bonuses. Leather vest, we can't afford. Leather greaves. Does have a minus stat, though. And then traveling boots. Doesn't give us as much armor, but it gives us evasion and some awareness and speed. I'm tempted to either get the leather helmet or the bow and then hand that off to Robin Hood, because that would be quite an upgrade for him. We could always buy that later for him. But I'm tempted to get the boots, because I think they're the better value. Because we get +1 armor. No resistance, though. But we get +1 armor, +3 evasion, and then we get a couple other stats for the same amount of gold. I figure that's a nice investment. So let's go ahead and buy the traveling boots. And we will equip. Okay, and that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and go to the quest board. Okay, there aren't any side quests. So that must be worldwide. I do have more movement points, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave. I didn't take a look at the services, but the services are, you know, things like heal you, what have you. Ooh, we have another sanctum over here. I don't think you can devote yourself to more than one, so that's going to be something that we have to do with another hero. Alright, so the quest item's over there. I might engage in a combat with one of these guys down here because they're, you know, low level and probably easy to defeat. So I'm going to move in a way that allows me to scout a little bit, though. Okay, so from what I can see, it's not going to be a path this way. So I'm thinking about... Ooh, okay, so what just happened here is I didn't see that enemy, and now I've encountered them. Now, it says he's a level 0, so we might be able to take him on our own, but I think I'm just going to retreat and maybe encounter him a little bit later. Okay, so Robin Hood rolled incredibly well on his movement, gets max movement. So we're going to try and take an advantage of that. I also need to move intelligently, though, so I'm going to kind of... Oh! Okay, so that enemy wasn't there earlier. I'm going to try and sneak past him. Although if I fail here, this will be bad. So I'm going to burn my focus to just automatic it. And we don't have enough gold to shop. Wow, this is getting crowded over here, huh? Okay, so now it's going to be Friar Turk's turn. And again, he rolls pretty well. Not full movement. Now I can use my teleport scroll and teleport down here because he's kind of lagging behind at this point. And I want to get on to my quest. I don't want to burn too much time here. So if I were to... What does this do? Full heal +2 attack. Alright, well, what I think I want to do is I want to burn this teleport scroll. I'm going to teleport on top of Little John. Okay. Then what I want to do is I want to open up Little John's inventory. I want to give the Faded Pearls to Friar Tuck. And then I'm going to equip that. So that should give him a bonus to attack. And if we attack now, we will not pull any other enemies in, but we will pull in Robin Hood because he's within range due to his bow. So we're going to go ahead and do this combat. And I'm not going to try an ambush, I don't think, because I don't think my success chance is very high. So we're just going to do a straight attack. All right. Now, I do know that this opponent can be tricky because it can attack us with status effects, which could be bad for us. All right, so we're just going to hit him with a straight attack here. And there he goes, hitting us with poison. So, Friar Tuck, unfortunately, was poisoned. And we'll get to see, I think, later what this effect does, but I know from experience that this is going to give him a stat penalty of -5 to everything, and also is going to do damage to him 2 per turn, every turn, and I don't know when it goes away. That's one thing I haven't figured out. I don't know if it goes away on its own or not. All right, so we've got stab, and then we've got the taunt ability. I figure we just go for the stab because we might be able to kill it. There we go. We even critted and outright destroyed him. So really the annoying thing with this character is the poison. All right, so we got Dancing Nettle. Use this, okay, additional action points. Not sure who to give that to. I think I'm just going to give it to Friar Tuck for now. We can always pass it around if we want. All right, now, I know from experience, devoting here will not only heal me, but it will get rid of the poison. I'm not sure that's what I want to do. I can, I think, go to the town over here, though, and use the services to probably rid myself of the disease, the poison. So let's try and do that. So services, we're staying at the end, we're in, okay, healer, and remove ailments. So I don't really need the healing. I do need the removal of ailments because this affects my stats, which is bad. So I'm going to go ahead and pay for the healer. This does cost quite a lot, but I think it's worth it. So there we go. We took care of that. And I have 1 movement point left. So I'm going to just move over close to this bird so we can start moving in a direction to go towards where our quest objective is. So Little John got good movement, which is not too surprising. I could combat this Dire Crow. Now, we would not get Robin Hood in the combat, though. So I might want to save it. But I am really tempted to do it. But if I continue to move, and I even move over here, I should still be in the combat radius. So if Robin Hood can get there, 2, 3, 4. He need to roll a 5, which is doable. All right, let's go ahead and move here and just kind of bank on that happening. Oh, good. So that's another dungeon. Much easier one. So that's something we can do maybe later. Oh, wow. We're just stumbling. You found Lucky's Vault, home of Fergus the Mad. This haunt can be sealed by defeating Scourge within it or risk it awakening when chaos rises. Okay. I'm going to have to take a look. Oh, good. We got max movement. I'm going to have to take a look at that. Is that just another dungeon? When haunt is active, item drops are at risk of theft. Okay. Not sure what that means. But I am going to come over here and attack the Dire Crow. And we might try and ambush it. But I can't use any focus because I burned it all. So I'm going to go ahead and just fight it. Okay. Now, one advantage we have here is that I do additional damage because of the bow against ranged or flying units. I can also select who I want to attack. So if I would prefer to attack, for instance, this guy, I can attack him instead. And it looks like we're going to down him in one shot. Luckily, we dodged there. Now, this is where this area of attack, effect attack, could be more useful. But considering that these guys only have 6 health, I think we're better off just hitting them with straight damage. Because if we get him full damage, then he's dead. Which we managed to do easily. And this is a pretty easy combat. Even only 1 success there, we managed to do enough damage to just straight up kill it. So, okay, we get a teleport scroll, which I am going to give to Tuck. Get a treasure map. this old map seems to point out the location of hidden treasure. So we'll give that to Robin Hood. Okay. And I would like to move him over to this so that he can use it and get the bonus. And hopefully that will bring him back up on focus. But she did get a couple points. I'm not exactly sure how and why you get points. I am a little bit worried that I may be dilly-dallying a little bit too much. Okay, we get 4 movement points. So whatever bonus we were getting has seemingly finally gone away. I don't think I have to enter the dungeon. I can move on top of it. And I'm not sure, though, where this engage range is. I want to be in range. But I think I'm going to move down towards the Dark Cave. We'll see if I'm correct. So we can enter with party. We could enter alone or just end my turn. We're going to end my turn. Okay, good roll there. Okay, so at this point, I could attack. And I would draw all 3 of these guys into the combat. And I'd only draw Tuck into the combat, as we can see there. I think instead, we come down this way. So, I'm going to move around. Leave. And we're going to go to the cult device. Oh, luckily, this is strength-based. Now, I want to succeed, and I do have a 75% chance of succeeding without burning any focus at all. So I think I'm just going to go with a straight attempt here. Oh, okay. Well, that was good, because we failed right off the back. So we get a Book of Lore, and the Book of Lore is the lore books that allow you to unlock things with each new playthrough. So that's good to see. And that's one leg of the journey. So great work. They'll think twice about leaving their junk in my forest. Looks like those purple robe folk didn't appreciate us breaking their big toy. I'd say it's time we formally introduce ourselves. Best prepare for a good fight. Alright, so we have our next objective. So again, if we follow the light blue. Good, full movement. We follow the light blue. It is right next to the sanctum I want to get to. We have to fight a combat. Now, this guy is in a camp. So we don't know how many people are going to be here. I assume it's 3. Maybe that little indicator shows you. We don't know who's going to be there and how many of them there are going to be. So we have to keep that in mind. It is getting close to nighttime as well, too. And we have one more objective beyond this to do. And Robin Hood can't take care of this on his own. So I'm going to go to the sanctum and get the rewards of doing so. So we'll devote. Get +2 attack damage and get a full heal. Which also brought up his focus to full as well. And then I think what I'm going to do, because I cannot be sure where our next objective is, I do want to kind of move myself in a way that I know I'm going to be in range of the combat zone. But also I want to put myself in a place to go where the next objective is. So let's put us right there. Oh, we get a nice day. So do we have enough gold? We don't have enough gold. That's unfortunate. I would have liked to have gotten that bow. We can end our turn anytime, though, so I'm just going to end it now. Okay, good. We got full movement. So it's likely on the blacksmith's turn that we'll get everybody over to where we need to be. And oh, okay, we found a dead adventurer, so let's go ahead and loot him. We get 6 gold, and we get claw shoes, +1 talent, +4 luck. I'll go ahead and equip that. We get a boar spear. Now, this is going to be good for Robin Hood, but we do lose a lot of the benefits of having a bow. I'm not going to equip this, though. I'm just going to collect it. We can always sell it, too. And this has already been claimed by Robin Hood, so we can't claim it ourselves. Okay, so she got almost full movement of 6. And that is going to put her, fortunately, just shy of where we want to be. Oh, we got a hag. That sucks. I have no choice but to fight her. But that means I'm going to have to fight alone. Ambush sneak, well, we could blow focus to sneak past her. I still have a very high chance of failing. I think I'm just going to take the straight fight. This is very risky, but I'm going to go for it. Okay, I don't know if this was a wise idea. We can straight up kill these guys, though, so let's just stick with it. I really wish they would stop max rolling on me. Okay. If we're really lucky here, we might be able to make it out. No, we just got screwed. Alright, we're still hanging in. Not anymore. Alright, well, we just got chaos, and we just experienced how difficult this game can be at times. Alright, so because we had that sanctum, we didn't gain the chaos. But the downside is we just lost one of our heroes, and we have to go over and pick her up to revive her, which is obviously not good. So I'm not really sure what to do in this instance, and I'll think about it in the next video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner signing out.